Welcome to No One Asked, the podcast where we talk about things literally no one asked us about. I'm Julie Barrett.
And I'm Sarah Wilkes. We're two friends, two realtors, and way too many opinions.
Life, real estate, and whatever chaos shows up.
No one asked, but we're saying it anyway. We're girls. We have to make sure our hair looks okay with the headphones.
With the headphones. I guess it's going to be story time today.
Okay. I always love those.
Yeah. We're going to dive into some stories, share some stories that we've experienced over the years regarding short sales.
Yes. So one just little quick tidbit. A lot of times people think short sale means, quick. But I don't really know the backstory on the name, but I just tell people short sale doesn't mean short on time. It means short on money.
Yeah. Because the bank has agreed to take less than what is owed.
Yeah, so less than the payoff. So that's where the term short sale comes in. Mm-hmm. This is especially beneficial if you're looking at those pre-foreclosure sales.
A short sale would be you falling back on your payment and you're trying to get ahead. You can't get caught up. You call the bank. The bank agrees for you to sell the property for less than what you owe.
Yes, but there's a lot to that.
There is a lot to that, and it is a process. We both experienced it over the years.
Yes.
And it's a good way to help somebody to prevent a foreclosure.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that it won't hurt your credit.
No, it will hurt your credit to some degree. However, I did actually try to compare the three or four options whenever you're not going to be able to finish out your terms. And short sale was the best option. So it hurts your credit for the least amount of time.
Right. So if somebody gets behind their payment, then just call us.
Yes.
And we'll be able to help you walk through the steps and give us permission to talk to your mortgage holder.
Most of the time, honestly, every time I've ever experienced this, they always want to know, is it listed? And they will not, in my experience, they will not approve a short sale unless the property is listed with a realtor because they know it's being marketed.
Right.
Because what you have to remember is they're going to be losing money regardless. And they want to make sure that it's being marketed to its potential.
Right. So my first experience with a short sale was a doozy. Let me just say, that was the first time that I hung up on a client.
Oh?
Yeah, I sure did.
We sure don't do that a whole lot.
No.
I'm sure it was warranted.
It was very bad. Sometimes we become the punching bag for people. Like, it's a stressful transaction to sell a home, especially if you're under duress.
Right.
And sometimes we get the brunt of that. And a lot of times I just let people vent. And I'm just like, okay, so now you ready to talk? Because I'm your friend in this. I'm not the enemy.
Right.
Well, to this particular person, I was the enemy from day one. It was clear I was the enemy. And he was I can't remember exactly what he was saying to me, but I do remember I said, nobody talks to me that way. My dad does not talk to me. My husband does not talk to me that way. And you sure are not going to talk to me that way. And I'm going to hang up. And when you can talk to me like a human, have respect, then we can have this conversation. I did that 3 times because he kept calling me back.
I guess you couldn't block him at that point.
No,
before blocking was allowed.
Yeah. But I mean, and I don't even remember what it was over. Something so trivial, I'm sure. But he was just stressed and the transaction was going fine. I don't even remember what it was about. And then I went straight to my broker's office and I sat down and I was like, so I just hung up on a client times 3.
I bet he'd love that.
If you get a call. But I mean, we can sit there and talk to each other and I can let you vent, but don't name call. Don't accuse me of your downfalls because I'm trying to help you in this.
Yeah, I have had to tell someone the same thing, but it wasn't related to short sale. So we'll save that for another day.
Okay.
But okay, so I'm sorry, were you done with yours?
But yeah, I mean, everything worked out fine. It was, I ended up selling that house like 2 other times since then over the years. But that was my first interaction with the short sale because it was with the local bank. So that was good.
Makes it easier.
Yes, it made it a little bit easier. And outside of just the client just going off on me, it was fine. So tell me about yours.
So my first experience, I think it was my first experience. I've had several, but this one stands out because I met with these clients. I listed their house. They just said that their payment had gone up, which is a whole other topic one day about insurance and taxes. But their payment had gone up and they they felt like they were paying too much for the house itself, and they wanted to sell it and downsize and rent or something. So, anyway, they, we were trying to sell it and everything. And so then I showed up one day and I saw they were loading boxes. And I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, well, we found a place to rent. And I was like, and I had asked them at one point before that, so you are still paying your payment. Now, that may seem nosy, but it's really not.
No.
Because if you're not paying your payment, then there's a lot of things that go involved in that. Your payoff will eventually be higher than it was. There's just a lot of reasons we would ask that.
Right.
Whole time, yeah, we're paying our payment.
And no judging while we ask this.
Oh, zero judgment. We don't care.
No.
That is not
we're just
our
trying to figure
role.
out how to best help you.
Yeah, and to make sure that we get you enough money to get you out from under what you wanted to get from under. So I rolled up. They're moving. And I was like, so you have a rental? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, but this one was too expensive. So are you still making your payments? Yeah, we are. We got an offer. We go to closing. We've already done inspections, appraisal. We're ready to close. And we got the payoff, and it was significantly higher because it was going into foreclosure.
Oh no!
Because they hadn't paid their payments.
Haven't been paying their payments.
And I can't remember how long they had not been paying. But then that turned into a short sale, and it was actually a much quicker process because we were at the finish line. But that was one thing. So, food for thought. If you are trying to have a short sale, please communicate that with your realtor because we need to know these things.
Yes, we do.
For sure. So that was one experience that I had.
In Kentucky, when you go to closing, Kentucky, there is a hotline that you can call that the attorney's office will tell you. There's a Kentucky hotline. Like if you are having problems like paying your payment and all that kind of stuff, to call this hotline.
Right.
Now, I have had a client to call that hotline and it was no help.
I've had some that had success with it.
Well, good. Maybe I just got a bad person that day.
Yeah, who knows? They were not feeling their job.
Right.
So one of the things, though, I'm dealing with a short sale right now. There are going to be different requirements. One thing that you're going to have to do is if you are, have your house financed with somebody, most of them, I think almost every bank will do their own appraisal. So you'll have to have the buyer's appraisal and your own that the bank will order. The reason for that, just so you guys know, is that they need to see if the loss that they're taking will benefit them more at this point, or if they can actually take the house back and make more money later. So your house has to appraise for a certain percentage of what, or the appraisal can't be so much higher than the percentage you're going to get. So that's kind of tricky too. You've got to make sure that the short sale justifies the outcome.
Is the short sale you're dealing with, is it with a local?
No.
It's a national?
No, it is national. And so here's the other thing. Whenever you do a short sale, if you're the seller, they want documentation of your income, your bills. It's not that simple. They're not just going to say, oh, yeah, don't pay your payment. They want proof of why this has become a hardship for you. So if you've been unemployed, you have to give them those records. They want your bank statements. They want all of this stuff. And it feels like a very long road, but it's worth it to protect yourself in the future.
Yes. And so many people, I feel like so many people think that once they start getting behind, and once you do get behind, it just kind of snowballs.
Oh, yeah.
Like it feels like it's impossible to get caught up. And I just feel like so many people like to give up at that point when you don't really have to. You can call an agent, call a realtor that has experience with short sales, and we can help you.
Well, and the biggest thing too is not with the clients I have now. They're great. I love them, but it's very much a personal thing for them, and it's not personal for me. So whenever a lot of times it's called the loss mitigation department is who you have to talk to. And they deal with people who are angry with them all the time. They deal with the phone calls like you got from your client.
Yes.
So they're not overly warm, fuzzy friendly. So you almost I've been on a couple of 3-way calls with them recently. And that's because
you can take the emotion out of it.
Say, what do you need?
Yes.
This is my contact. This is whatever. But they will not talk to your realtor unless you fill out a third-party authorization form.
Right.
Also, you need to follow up that they got the documents that you're sending because they can say all day long, oh yeah, well, we didn't get those. And you're like, I have confirmation you did. You want written proof from them they got it.
And sometimes there's so many hands on the other side receiving documents that it gets lost.
Oh yeah. So, and the other thing too, though, is I had someone call me last year They called me like 2 weeks before it was going to be auctioned off, and it was just it was just almost too late.
Too late. You're right.
It's not too late up until probably the day of auction, but if you're going to ask for a short sale, you probably need to let us know at least 30 days ahead, preferably when you realize that you're not going to be able to catch up.
We can't get your head above water.
So, when you're at that 60 to 90 day late, start thinking about it, because that's when the bank starts thinking about, okay, we're going to start this process.
Right.
Some banks will let you go a year without paying, but typically once you're 90 days late, that's when they will start with the pre-foreclosure fees, expenses, and all of that.
And it all adds up so fast.
Every month it adds up. So what your payoff is significantly different than what your principal balance is showing.
Right. So if you know somebody that is experiencing hardship and making a mortgage payment, there could be some help for you.
Absolutely.
So, drop a comment, call, text us, email, whatever, and let us help you.
Yeah, that's our job, and we don't want to see people foreclosed on.
No.
You hate when you sold someone a house and then you see that come up, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I wish they would have called. And we know that people feel embarrassment or anger, but we're a judge-free zone. We have said this probably every podcast.
Yes.
We are completely a judge-free zone.
Yeah.
Life happens.
It does happen.
And, every situation is different, but our goal is to help you always.
Right.
And so make the call. And if we can't save it, we can't. But I hate to see anybody give up without trying.
Right. Exactly.
So, I mean,
it's worth an effort.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's going to take some time and energy, and we're all going to get tired and frustrated with the lenders, especially if they're not local. But the end goal is to get you ready for whatever your next step is.
Right. And don't get frustrated with us, because we are just trying to help.
We are your ally. We are not your enemy.
No, we are not.
So just remember that. And like I said, we are always here for questions you have. Our contact information is pretty much anywhere, online. So you can always get a hold of us. But we're here to help.
Next segment, we're going to do chin lipo.
Yes. Our next topic is what positions to hold your face so that you don't get this thing flapping in the wind. I mean, that was, I died. And I didn't even say anything to you because, I mean, it was over. Okay. So,
all right. Well, if you have any questions or comments, drop them below or message us. And until next time, no one asked,
but we're saying it anyway. Well, we said what we said.
We'll do it again next time. No one asked.